All right, welcome to episode 69 of my FX Buddies, the podcast. And I say podcast because there's also a blog, and you can find the blog at myfxbuddies.blogspot.com or myfxbuddies.com, but you have to use HTTPS as in Sam. There's a transcript at rss.com. That's R S as in Robert, S as in Robert.com. My FX Buddies. Anywhere that I have anything, it's my FX Buddies, right? And rumble.com. Just the video is there. That's it. Just the video. Because the video that I put on the blog, it comes from Rumble. And that is also my FX Buddies. YouTube. If you are listening to this on YouTube, because that's what you're doing, you're listening, you notice the video only shows one picture, right? Because that's not the video. Look below the box that appears to be a video. Look for the word more. Click on that, and then the link to the blog with the video and all the articles is there. All right, so let's get into it. So right now it is June 13th, but this news is all covering June 12th because June 12th was a crazy day for me. So I didn't get to post. And in my opinion, some really encouraging news came out. And we're going to get right into it. So I'm going to say good morning because by the time I post this, it'll be approximately 6:30 a.m. on the East Coast. And if you're listening, hopefully you're drinking some coffee and starting your day. Anyway, all right. Or tea, whatever you drink, making a healthy smoothie, whatever you start your day with. All right. So the title of this blog post is Securities Commission signs an agreement with the World Bank. This is my favorite article of June 12th, 2024. So, it's the Securities Commission is tied to the Iraqi Stock Exchange, right? And there's some of you that probably don't know, and I don't fully understand, right? But somehow the ISX is, well, it's already connected to, I believe, the New York Stock Exchange. And somehow through the New York Stock Exchange, people will be able to access the ISX. And in 2018 or 2019, they had the big screen, the neon screens or whatever they're called, I don't know, whatever they're called on New York Times Square. It said, they flashed, "Congratulations, Iraq, for celebrating National or World Women's Day," or something like that. And we were all like, this is it, they're gonna do it. Because really, of all the things they could have congratulated Iraq for, it was for celebrating World Women's Day or whatever. But here we are, we're still waiting. So it is gonna be one of those, some type of international connection, right? And you can read this, and I suggest you read this. So the representative for this International Finance Corporation, which is affiliated with the World Bank, so you might as well say it's the World Bank, right? And I believe this is his or her name, which looks to me to be Egyptian, and I'm not even going to try to say it. All right, but see here. We continue our efforts aimed at incorporating good international practices in developing the performance and effectiveness of the Iraq Stock Exchange, which is the ISX, and other activities related to securities. So here they're helping them comply with international standards enhancing the ability to implement and supervise their implementation in Iraq, and contributing to increasing investment attractiveness in the Iraqi stock market environment. So remember the other day, there was one, and I was saying, oh, these people, they give money for different things, right? And that was for the ESG, investing in the ESG stuff. This is specifically for the ISX being able to compete here, improves the Iraqi investment environment by adopting international standards, and develop the current investment environment in the Iraqi stock exchange. So I'm just reading tidbits of this article. So that's why I suggest you go to the blog, and that way you can read the whole thing, because I try to keep these posts to 30 minutes. And even though I would love to read you every single word of every single article, time does not permit me. And then they even go on. Now this is a different person, because see, this name here, Aftab Ahmed, he is the he works for the IFC. He's the regional director for the Middle East, Pakistan, and Afghanistan. We are excited to partner with the Iraqi Securities Commission in this important initiative that aims to help companies and banks mitigate the risks of environmental, social, and governance. What is that? That's ESG, right? But yeah, so they're just getting money and help from all types of places, right? So yeah, so this is, and there's another picture, right? No, not on this one. Okay, so that is great, right? Very encouraging. Okay, now here is my second favorite article of the day for June 12th. Economists call for enhancing non-oil revenues. And I wasn't even going to read this article because it just cracks me up that people want them, organizations want them to develop non-oil revenues. And they know, well, as soon as they start bringing in their investors, they will be able to, right? But anyway, so it's just kind of hypocritical in my eyes that they're doing that. But look, there's one sentence in here. So, the day before yesterday, there were articles of, I think, the World Bank requesting that Iraq build up their non-oil income or revenue, right? So this guy, even though he's not in government, he's a specialist in economic affairs. He goes on, yeah, you guys said this and that and that. And he kind of digs into, well, you're holding us up with all this litigation and stuff, right? But listen to this sentence. The expert called for achieving stability in the growth of the general budget by adopting a rate that is compatible with the annual growth rate of the gross domestic product, so GDP, right? And not making the development of the budget linked to oil revenues. So to me, and I've ran this by some other people, it sounds to me like he's saying, hey, instead of just focusing and pointing out what we're doing wrong, just show us the rate of the entire budget and we'll activate all these other sources of, non-oil revenue that we have. So I could be wrong because, I tend to wear dinar goggles, but what else, how else can you interpret that? He called for achieving stability in the growth of the general budget by adopting a rate that is compatible with their growth and the GDP. So there's a person out coming straight out and saying, show us the rate, right? So I think that's neat. Okay, here, Parliamentary Committee, the investment law will see the light soon. So the government and the central bank to put pressure on private banks, which have reached 37 banks and so far are not involved in building infrastructure. So this is, they're just saying the investment problem in Iraq is complex. Yeah. What isn't complex in Iraq? And they're going to vote on it soon. Or I don't want to say vote because this law is already done. It just probably needs to be amended, right? Another one. And also for tomorrow, there's a guy, some guy I've never seen before. I don't even recognize his name. He is talking about that laws are going to be amended to encourage investment. So, alrighty, provided everything goes well. Okay, I'll do another post late, right? Anyway, so Sadani went to Jordan for 1 day, and look at all the stuff he did. He delivered a speech. Oh, and the purpose of this visit was emergency humanitarian response in that 4-letter place. It starts with a G, and it's 4 letters. So they held this in Jordan. He gave a speech that they showed on TV. They ran the whole speech on TV. It was very short. But even still, the point of that is here's Iraq with their money that's not, they don't have the correct value. And they're speaking to these nations that do have their money at their correct value, right? So they're being brought to a place of, I don't want to say respect, but importance among their peers, right? The other Gulf nations. So he met with the Jordanian king. He met with Spanish Prime Minister. He met with Antony Blinken. Antony Blinken was there. He met with the British Minister of State for Foreign Affairs and the Red Cross and Red Crescent societies. So he got a lot done for being there like not even a whole day, right? All right, the World Bank expects Iraq's economy to grow in 2025. So don't get too excited about these articles because in a heartbeat they'll come out and say, oh yeah, 2 days ago we said that we expected growth, but now we're expecting it to shrink, right? But it's always nice to see them. Okay, let's see here. Oh, the federal court. Okay, I'm just gonna talk about this and this one article about gold. Okay, so here is the article, and here is the official document. There is some kind of case with the federal court about the budget schedules, and it's dated June 9th. So even though this says June 9th, 2000, it is 2024. See here? It says 2024. Numbers don't translate well the way that I translate articles. The numbers don't translate well. But when I post things, I don't mess with them. I just leave them like they are, right? But anyway, so, and it is, the plaintiff is this person here, Reed. I don't know how to say that name clearly. It's Raed Maliki, Al-Maliki. And I bet you they're related to the more popular Nuri al-Maliki. And they've been given 15 days to reply. Parliament has been given 15 days. So it's not a good translation, but more importantly, just know something has officially been done, right? Okay, so we have to see what happens, and I'll still be looking every day to see if there's an update in the Gazette, but I don't I don't think there will be until whatever this is gets worked out. And actually, I think we talked about that yesterday. Yeah, because there was an article with one little sentence. Yeah. Okay. Here, isn't this interesting? Kuwait connects its fiber network to Iraq. You can read that if you'd like. Iraq and Somalia are discussing cooperation in the field of exchanging experiences, information, issues, and common files. And there's that. Now this, U.S. warns citizens against visiting Iraq due to deteriorating security situation. This was only in the Kurdish news. And when I first saw it, I said, I bet you this is not going to sit well with some of the politicians. And it did not. Later in the day, hold on. Later in the day, there's a very upset person saying, he put out, what did he say? This is like a threat against us, right? But against Baghdad, it's like we're threatening because here they are trying to portray this image of safe and secure, and what's the phrase they keep using? An attractive economic, no, attractive investment setting. But if America is telling their people, don't come to Iraq, then that doesn't help their case, right? But so it definitely does seem like a ploy or a game of some type because I don't know if it's here, but there's also articles out saying, oh, for 6 days in a row, there's no more attacks on the American businesses. And even Maliki, let me see, can I get this? Let's see if I could show you. I can't show you the article because there's no article, but the words, no, that didn't change anything. Oh, no, maybe here. Maliki says, I personally know some of the people who own these businesses that you're bombing, and they're owned by Iraqi. So here it is right here. He says the restaurants that were attacked are owned by Iraqis and employees, and I know one of them, and there is no justification for attacking them. So I'm waiting to waiting for that article to come out. But there was a lot of Maliki in the news for June 12th going into June 13th. But anyway, so yeah, okay, let's see. Here's more about the budget schedules and what the Kurds are getting. If you want to read that, you can. It's there. Oh, this was a pretty big deal for them. Iraq signs a memorandum of cooperation. What is that? Just when I get used to understanding, right? Memorandum of understanding. Now it's a memorandum of cooperation. But with Huawei, I think most people know what Huawei is, right? It's a Chinese company, but they have cell phones, mobile devices, and accessories for mobile devices. But here they're going to partner on scientific research and education. And you should see this guy's face right here. Can I make this bigger? Look how he's looking like, yeah, buddy, sign those contracts. But anyway, so, that's just got to be good for Iraq, right? And I feel because the United States has so much invested in Iraq, whatever's good for them is good for us. And that is a very lengthy, they go into really detailed information. You saw how lengthy that was. That's another article about what the Kurds are getting. Okay, I'm just going to read this article here and then we'll wrap it up. Let me see. Here. Oh, China came out and said Iraq is the third largest Arab trading partner with China. And I think there's one more. Oh, this was pretty good too. Actually, there's two more, this one and one below it. Chambers of Commerce determine reasons for the rise in the dollar exchange rate and talk about speculation. So again, they're saying, yeah, the rate is going up, but it's only temporary and it's due to speculation. So I always like when they put that in writing. Washington, Baghdad is committed to bank reform and we support the Iraqi lending strategy. So look how tiny. This is just a 3-sentence article, but remember, I believe it is 3 weeks ago now. It was a Saturday and they had this big conference about their lending strategy for 2024 to 2029, which they still have not put out all the details of. And so here we are. Washington is saying, good on you, Baghdad. We like that. Oh, here, Iran is there. Iran met with a couple of people. Oops, so there's more about Iran. But this is the final? Yeah, this is the last article. Iraq and the United States are discussing efforts to form a joint business council. Now I could have sworn they already had. Oh, maybe it was the chambers. It was that chambers of commerce or something. But I always like when Iraq and the U.S. are joining forces on something. So I was happy to see this article today as well. So they're gonna bring this together in order to expand the field of economic work and develop the work of the chambers of commerce in a way that enhances economic partnership and opens the door to cooperation with the public and private sectors, pointing to the import and export sides and moving forward to enhance that. And this is something also that was talked about when Sadani was here in April. I remember that. I remember those words. Okay, so now check this out. So there's an article. You might want to go look it up. I saw it in the Rocks News, but it really has nothing to do with the RV. It's about MasterCard. So MasterCard in Europe is going to get away from cards with 16 digits. And they're going to just have this code and you use your thumbprint for your code, right? So they're going to phase that out and work it in, but for us here in America, they start things and they test things in Europe, right? Then they bring it here. So I thought this was so interesting that they put this in Iraq's news. Iraqis resort to gold bullion instead of money, and the banking system is dying. And this nice little picture here of a person holding, is that a 1 gram or 10 gram? It says 10 gram. Huh. Anyway, today, Wednesday, financial affairs expert Mustafa Hantoush revealed the reason why Iraqis are resorting to purchasing gold bullion in abundance during the current period. Oh, don't forget, the person who asked me about Sadar. Remember, I said, oh, we'll probably hear from Sadar this week. I got an article for you. Okay, but anyway, so back to the gold. Hantoush said in an interview that recently the demand for buying gold bullion has increased significantly by citizens, especially those with large sums of money. Excuse me. They have begun to save that money through these bullion instead of depositing their money in banks. He stated the reason why citizens resort to buying gold bullion to save their money is as a result of the weakness of the banking system's lack of confidence in this system and fear for their money due to American sanctions. This is why we see the majority of Iraqis turning towards gold bullion, especially in light of the high price of the yellow metal and stability of the price and its lack of fluctuation like the dollar. So then it has some more information here if you want to read that. But isn't that interesting that Iraq's people, the rich people, of course, are buying gold because the dinar is fluctuating, the dollar is fluctuating. They're like, to heck with all that. Let me just buy this gold. But also, remember there was an article that said Iraq, their gold reserves went down by a certain amount. And I was like, where'd that gold go? Are they stashing it somewhere we don't know about? And then here we are. So they're probably pulling their gold to, well, I don't know. I'm just thinking because I don't believe in coincidences, right? So that one article is saying that their gold reserves have shrunk, and then here is an article saying the rich citizens or the more well-to-do citizens are purchasing gold bullion. Very interesting. Okay, so let me just show you. I'm not going to post this article about Sadar, but there he is. And the title of this is Sadar, bearing witness to Ali's guardianship means antagonizing his enemies and supporting his supporters. Your soul and your limbs bear witness. This man is intense, let me tell you, okay? So, he published a 2-page blog post in which he explains the martyrdom for whoever this person is that's dead, right? That's what martyrdom means. They died. And the governorship means antagonizing his enemies and supporting his supporters. And there it is, but I'm not gonna translate it or post it, but I just wanted you to know Sadar's around, but mostly what he says is religious stuff. But there is a lot, and I mean a lot, of he said. Anyway, that's not a funny joke. Okay. About him coming back into politics. But I don't want to post all of that unless we're still here whenever they have their election, then I'll get into that. But for now, I just want to focus on the money, right? And yeah. All right. So I hope this is encouraging to you. I know it's so hard. It just keeps dragging on and dragging on. But every day there's, you got to look for one thing to be encouraged by. And that's what I try to do. I try to bring the encouraging, well, not just the encouraging ones, just the truth. We need to know what's going on, right? So, yeah, thank you for listening. I will do another post, but it'll be June 14th. Hopefully, since that'll be Thursday, there won't be that much news. Then I can just combine those 2 days into that one day. Anyway, I'm just thinking out loud. Okay, so, accumulate while we wait for the rate to appreciate. Don't miss any meals. Pay all your bills. And, for people who got NVDA, I say NVDA. There's a lady on YouTube. She did a video, like about options, because if you see, it's going up and down, right? It's $119, $126, and it's being predicted that it's going to rise up, but it never goes straight up, right? It rises and then comes down. And she's talking about doing calls and puts and all that stuff. If you know how to do that, so that's another way to make more money off the NVIDIA stock. Um, but I'm not telling people to do that because you can lose money in seconds, okay? If you don't know what you're doing. I don't. I have done it. And I do understand that it's possible to make money when it's going up and when it's going down. I don't have the brain space to learn that. Post RV, I do want to learn that. But right now I focus on other things and study other things. But I just wanted to let you know, if that is of interest to you and if you understand calls and puts and options, that's another way to make some money with NVIDIA while it's rising. Okay, thank you again. If there's a like, no, follow, subscribe, join, whatever, click that, swipe that, tap that, and that way you'll be notified when I do update if all things work like they're supposed to. Enjoy the rest of your morning, noon, night, whatever time frame you are enjoying this content. And until next time.